Hello everyone, this is Hers and you are watching WPF World. In this chapter we are going to learn about inheritance, types of inheritance and aggregation. What is inheritance? Inheritance allows us to create a new class from an existing class. The class from which a new class is created is known as base class or parent class or superclass. And the new class is called derived class or child class or subclass. The derived class contains all the fields and methods of the base class. Means derived class inherits the fields and methods of base class. We can also call inheritance is a relationship. We use inheritance only if there is an relationship between two classes. For example, car is a vehicle, apple is a fruit. What are the types of inheritance? There are 5 types of inheritance: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. What is single inheritance? In a single inheritance, a single derived class inherits from a single base class. Means here it will be only two classes, one is base class and one is child class. What is multi-level inheritance? In multi-level inheritance, a derived class inherits from base class and then the same derived class acts as a base class for another class. Like here we will have more than two classes. What is hierarchical inheritance? In hierarchical inheritance, multiple derived class inherit from a single base class. There will be two classes which inherit from same base class or single base class. In hierarchical inheritance, there will be multiple derived class inherit from a single base class. What is multiple inheritance? In multiple inheritance, a single derived class inherits from multiple base class. C# does not support multiple inheritance. However, we can achieve this multiple inheritance through interface. We will learn more about inheritance in later chapter. What is hybrid inheritance? Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. The combination of multi-level and hierarchical inheritance is an example of hybrid inheritance. Now we will see all the inheritance through the example. I will delete this class and I will create the inheritance demo class. Okay. I am going to create some class like class A, class B. Okay. Now how we can achieve the inheritance? To achieve the inheritance we have to use the colon symbol, and I want to inherit from A class, so we have to give A here. Like now B class will become the derived class and A class will be base class. Okay. So what are membered in there in A class that will be available in B class as well. Okay. But it depends on access specifier. If it is private then it will be not available in derived class. If it is protected then only it will available, or more than protected access specifier will be available in derived class. This is called the single inheritance. How to achieve the multi-level inheritance? Here we will have multiple class. I will say it as C. Now we can inherit from B. Now C. The B class inherit from A class and then C class inherit from B class. Okay. This is an example of multi-level inheritance. Okay. How to achieve the hierarchical inheritance? Here I am going to create one class called D. And here what will happen? What hierarchical inheritance is? Multiple derived class inherit from single base class. Like B is derived from A and I want to derive D from A. So this is called hierarchical inheritance. B is derived from A and D is derived from A. How to achieve the hybrid inheritance? In a hybrid inheritance we will have more than two type of inheritance. Like here you can see this is single inheritance and then we will have hierarchical inheritance. Like it will inherit from the B. This is single level inheritance and here we have two derived class which is derived from base class B. This is called hybrid inheritance. What is advantage of inheritance? The advantage of inheritance is code reusability. In inheritance, you can reuse the members of your parent class, so there is no need to define the member again. So less code is required in the class. Now we will see what is aggregation. Aggregation is also known as hedge relationship. Aggregation is a process in which one class defines another class as any entity reference. It is another way to reuse the class. It is a form of association that represent hedge relationship. Okay. Let's see with an example. I want to create a class called employee. I will create a class called address. Here we will have the address of employee. I will declare a string variable called city and state. Okay. Here I will create the constructor which will set the value of state. Okay. I will assign this value here. This dot city equal to city and this dot state equal to state. Okay. Now in employee we have ID and name. Okay. And here I will create an object of address class. Okay. This is an aggregation, like employee class has an address, right? Here I will create a constructor and we will assign the value of ID, name and address. Okay. This dot ID equal to ID. This dot name equal to name. This dot address equal to address. Like that we will have. Now I will create the employee and assign the value and we'll see the result. I will create an object of employee class equal to new employee. Here I have to add the namespace for that. We have to have first dependency here. So I want to add the project in this class. As we already added the dependency of csharp demo to class library, that's why it is giving the circular dependency. So we can't do this. Okay. So what I can do, I will move this employee and address class inside the csharp demo namespace class 1, and on top of that I will paste it. Okay. Now I will create the object employee and here I have to pass ID. I will pass ID as emp001, name Kumar. Okay. And I have to pass the object of address. So we will create new address and here I will pass city Bangalore, state Karnataka. Okay. Like that we can pass. Now I want to see the value of employee ID, name and address. So how we can see, use console.writeLine method and employee.id we can't access because it is private, right? So we have to make it as public. Okay. Now we can access it. I will display all the data of employee. Okay. Address dot. This is also private. So here also we have to make it as public. Okay. Address dot city same way state. Okay. Let's run and see. See. Employee ID, name, city and state, right? I hope you understand what is aggregation. That's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, let's share with your friends.